Alex Hormozi's $6,000 bundle, but I never spoke to Alex Hormozi once. But if you watch until the end, I'm going to show you how I transform my business by implementing his new AI that he's used to take over 1,000 businesses to $1 million. So this book, these 12 books, all of Alex Hormozi's books, $100 million offers, $100 million leads, and notes he's taken on over 1,024 businesses are all put into this one AI, so that it has all the knowledge of Alex Hormozi. This cost me $6,000, and Alex Hormozi's team personally use this within acquisition.com. So this has access to information that has never been released by Alex Hormozi before. Literal money models people have been waiting years and years for, because they know it can take their business from 10, 20, 30, even 100 to $1 million per month. The core concepts from Alex Hormozi's $100 million leads and $100 million offers book is one of the core reasons I'm doing 35K per month as a 22-year-old. So if you're struggling to get enough leads, close enough people, and actually have a sustainable recurring income where you know every month you're gonna go up, then this is gonna be a fucking game changer for you. And only a certain amount of people have access to this information, and I'm gonna be giving it all away on this video. And by the end, you're going to know exactly how to scale a coaching business past 50K per month, using the exact principles that hundreds of business owners have used based on Alex Hormozi's frameworks. And if you don't know who Alex Hormozi is, he hit $100 million net worth by the age of 33. So I think that's all the context you need. Jumping straight into the AI, we're going to set out the specs for the business, and we're going to go for quite a broad business so that it applies to a lot of us. So what we're going to do is just do a coaching business that helps people scale their business online. So this might be, you can apply this for fitness coaching, you can apply this if you're someone that has an agency, you can apply this if you have a software, because at the end of the day, most of the businesses, if you're high ticket and low volume, which is we're going to go for, so that like the packages are bigger, but the amount of people you get on is lower, they all really work the same, whether it's fitness coaching, whether you coach other coaches to help something, whether you help gyms scale, whatever your sort of offer is, it kind of works very similar. I have a friend that helps gym scale. The way he runs it is very similar to me. I have a friend that helps agency scales. The way he runs his business is very similar to me. I run my fitness business very similar to how I run and actually helps coaches scale. The way that you actually do things is very similar. It's just the actual information you give is very different. But the way that you build it actually is quite similar in the end. There's just specifics that you need to apply to your business. So what we're going to go with is done for you, information, warm outreach. So you're actually reaching out to people that you have. So even if you've got like 500 followers, you still have people to do warm outreach to. Low volume, high ticket, online calls. So that's like an online sales. Employees, just me. Current tech status, we're going to go with little. So you have spreadsheets, those sort of things. Primary business constraint, leads. And then we're just going to say, I help coaches make money online by implementing the right systems, information, and processes. That's the same thing. And then for the description, we'll go for, I help coaches build businesses online, make money fully online by having the right information, processes. We're going to say this includes community, one-to-one with me, and a full course on how to do it. So we're just going to say that the fulfillment is community, one-to-one, and a course. That's pretty standard. So just to make it easy for you guys, in case some of you guys already have that sort of fulfillment, because it's most likely going to be, what's most common. So that means that they have a community of other people that you might be doing group calls in, or maybe it's just a WhatsApp community or school community. You got one-on-ones with you, and you got the course. I'm going to say current yearly revenue. We're going to say 120,000, so 10,000 a month. Current yearly profit, we're going to say that it's 50%, so 60,000, because this will apply to this means a lot of these things will apply to much larger businesses, 30, 40, 50K, but it will also apply to the people at zero, because you can apply the same concepts that someone's doing at 10K when you're at zero to get to the 10K. So new customers per month, they're doing 10K, let's say they're charging 2K each, then that's 5, save changes. Okay, so that's the AI fully set up and personalized to the business. So I'm gonna start off by giving it some basic information and see where it takes this. So how to create a $100 million offer for this coaching business. If this was Alex Hormozi himself, he would ask questions based on this. So let's see if it does that. So it's actually taking stuff out of the book itself. So what it does when it's reasoning is it's taking stuff out of these 12 books, which you can't even access now. No one can access these books. It's impossible to buy them. And it's also taking information out of this book, $100 million leads, $100 million offers, and a load of other information. Alex Hormozi's in-house team use this, so he just puts in more and more information in basically every month. They're consistently updating it. So this is what he wants us to do. Answer these fast questions so that we can pick the best play for your offer. So niche focused. What coaches exactly? So it's got fitness, but we'll go with fitness and mindset because that's kind of what fitness coaching is. So fitness and mindset coaching. Number 2, so price and term today. Current price length, weeks, months. So we'll say 2K for 6 months, which you can actually charge a lot more for fitness coaching in the long term. How many clients a month? Tangible results. We're going to not give it too much information here, just see what it comes up with. What's the clear ROI, the promise? Get in amazing shape and lose weight in 6 months. So this isn't a very clear promise. This is a horrible offer. Like get in amazing shape and lose weight in 6 months. It's just fucking tragic. But we're just going to see what it actually comes up with. Fulfillment pound bottleneck. What 3 assets produce most wins? Offer creation workshop, DM scripts, funnel templates, sales role plays, workout plans, one-to-ones, and community calls. See what happens when it comes up with that, because this is wanting to get some information of what we can use, I'm assuming. So when it says assets, it's seeing what we can give away for free. It's the Alex Hormozi way of doing things. Are you willing to add a guarantee? So I'm kind of giving it, by saying action-based guarantee, I'm kind of giving it some prompts that maybe if you haven't had any time in the online space, you wouldn't know, but it's just saving some time here. So it's going to search all the books. This still has like that new books, majorly has the new books, man. I actually really like that. I haven't actually fully gone through the $100 million models yet. Been given so much information from this, I just haven't even needed to. So what it's done is it's scanned all the books here. So what it's done is scanned all the book, and it's even searched his notes. As this was thinking, I had a really good idea. I'm going to put the link below to whatever roadmap we build out here in the description so you guys can go and check that out. So single strategy, build a Grand Slam offer that's obviously better. So it's wanting us to use the value equation here to basically make the offer more sexy. The 24-hour body and mind rebuild. Use a clear time interval to set expectations urgency. Mind platform rules for ads. Core promise, drop 2 to 3 sizes and rebuild your habits you keep. 2,000 PIF, add a payment plan for slightly higher. Incentivize PIF and bonuses, priority access. Okay, make it Grand Slam. So it's now going to want you to value stack. So proof first presentation, before/after library, weekly wins, scoreboard, and milestone badges. Proof is data that supports your claims. More/better proof equals more certainty. So what it's saying here is for you to actually start building out more of this Grand Slam offer is you need more proof. So the value equation looks like this. So this is what the actual value equation looks like. And what they're saying is to increase the proof here to support the claim. And what this does is it increases the perceived likelihood of achievement. And the whole point of the value equation is the value received is the desired outcome minus basically what has to happen to get that. So your dream outcome, let's say your dream outcome is to be absolutely ripped in the best shape of your life. The perceived likelihood of achievement, if you've tried 2-3 times and you haven't been able to be consistent, you haven't actually put in the effort, is low. And then you divide that by the time delay. So how long is it going to take you to get ripped? Okay, it's going to take you 2 years. Okay, that's a long time. What's the effort and sacrifice? I'm going to have to track my calories every day for 2 years and train 3 times or 5 times a week. So the value, the dream outcome is high, but the time delay and effort and sacrifice is too big that it doesn't make it worth it. So what we're basically trying to do is make the dream outcome as high as possible, the perceived likelihood of achievement as high as possible, the time delay as low as possible, and the effort and sacrifice as low as possible as well. Because then when you divide the two, the value is super high. If the dream outcome is to have a movie star physique, the perceived likelihood of achievement is you collect all these testimonials, you have a weekly win scoreboard and milestone badges of all the people that you're already training so that you can consistently post them online, the perceived likelihood of achievement gets higher. And not only that, a suggestion I recommend is really using stories properly, your story properly, to show how you went from A to B, because then if you can do it, it shows other people that working with you, they can do it. So doing those two things, a mix of way more testimonials, transformations, wins, scoreboards, all of those things, as Hormozi says, I think that's a really good tip from the AI, as well as your story. It hasn't mentioned that, and I think that fucking crushes. I've seen it crush a lot. Massively increases the perceived likelihood of achievement to the point where people are like, fuck, I can 100% do this. So if you can take it from 2 years for this huge transformation, let's say they weigh 110 kg and they need to get to 80 kg and be ripped. And you can say, listen, with me, this is going to take you 12 months. Then you're massively reducing the amount of time it's going to take for them. And then if you can reduce the effort and sacrifice as well, So all that you're going to have to do is train 3 times a week, track your rough macros, and you're only going to have to do that for 6 months. And instead of doing cardio every day, you just need to do some light walking. Then you make the value way higher, because now they're not having to put in tons of effort by tracking their macros perfectly for a whole 2 years, training 5 times per week, doing cardio every single day. It's not going to take them 2 years, it's only going to be 1 year. It's going to be less effort and sacrifice, less time. The likelihood of achievement is going to be much higher for them because they see all these other people in your community and all these wins you're posting that are doing the same thing and are making the transformation you want to make, and the dream outcome is still the same. So they get the exact same result, they feel more confident in the result, it takes less time, and they have to put less effort and sacrifice into it, which makes the value way higher, so they're going to pay a lot more for it. Think about something like Ozempic. The dream outcome is they lose weight. The perceived likelihood of achievement is everyone that they do it to loses weight. The time delay is it happens pretty much instantly. The effort and sacrifice is they do nothing. That's why people are happy to pay for it every single month. You have to keep getting Ozempic. It's super expensive. You have to continuously pay for it again and again. But the value of it is so high because they have to put such little effort in. So I agree on this to make a grand slam offer. The second part is decreased time delay, but this is just basically saying that when you get someone on in your first 24 hours, you want to get them set up with everything. This isn't going to get you new clients. It might get you some referrals because you've got a good service, but really this is just going to mean that less people refund and you get less tricky customers. It's not really going to get you that many more clients other than the occasional refund. Decrease effort and sacrifice. Minimal willpower system, 2 to 3 workouts. Yeah, so this is just basically saying the exact same thing. So I don't really like these 2 ways of doing it because the decreased time delay, 24-hour kickoff, that's not about what the actual value equation is. The actual value equation is, if it was a business coaching for ads, for example, it's like, okay, next day delivery for the ads. You're going to have ads up and running tomorrow so that you can start generating leads. That would be super high value for the value equation because people are like, okay, already going to have leads coming through. That is worth the money because there's no time delay and the effort and sacrifice is so low because it's all going to be set up by tomorrow. But for fitness coaching, the effort and sacrifice is a slightly longer term thing. So just getting them set up isn't going to change shit. And this section of the decreased effort and sacrifice, I agree with. Reducing the amount of workouts, making it easy for them to travel with stuff. Reducing the amount of workouts, making it easy for them to travel, giving them like a little bit of a break on the weekend. You can think of better ones for this. You want to think about genuinely how I like this, but you've got to think genuinely a bit more detailed as a fitness coach. When you were getting in shape, what did you struggle with? What did you wish you didn't have to do? That if you didn't have to do, you could still get in amazing shape. But with the new knowledge you have, you can help someone get in really good shape without doing some of the bullshit you had to do that you really wish you didn't. Bonus stacks used to drive action. I like these. So you want 3 bonus stacks. I don't think these are that good, but I do think 3 bonus stacks are really good. And then it's saying here, deploy bonuses with countdowns, Xbox less. And then it's also put deploy bonuses with countdowns. I like this a lot because basically you can have multiple bonuses and then as someone comes on, those bonuses go. So let's say you have 10 spots that you want to fill this month. You want to go from 5 spots at 10K a month to 10 spots at 20K per month. You can put those 10 spots up and then as you're taking on more people, the bonuses that people come on get lower. So then the first person that comes on out of those 10, they get all of these 3 bonuses. They maybe even get a discount, they get a better guarantee, they just get a bunch of stuff. And then by the 7th person that comes on, maybe they get slightly less bonuses. You have to make sure that it's still massively in their favor though. Yeah, and it's saying drop your best, most immediate benefit bonus the moment the cart opens. It won't be cart open, it will be more like DM setting. So this doesn't make sense, but I also agree that when you first drop the story saying that you're going to take people on. So then it goes to a risk reversal. So it's saying that if the person does X, Y, Z that you give them, then you guarantee that they'll make the progress. If not, you can do something like a refund, train with them for free until they do, train with them for free until they do, and a refund. It all depends on what you want to do. A really safe one is like train with them for free. So if they don't make the progress that you guys agreed on and they follow all the action steps, they do a check-in every week, they do all their workouts, they keep tracking their nutrition, then you continue to work with them for free as long as they keep doing the work until they get the results they want. And that basically means for people, they know that if they put their best foot forward every day, they're going to get the results they want as long as they take the actions they need based on the information you give them. For fitness coaching, I would take this another level. If you're helping other businesses grow, you're running ads, maybe you're running content, or maybe you're just like coaching other coaches in different markets, I wouldn't personally run a refund and train with you until you do guarantee. Because what this does is it gets a lot of these business owners that you're working with in this mindset that they can just try it out, they can just see if it works, and if it doesn't work, then they'll just leave it. If you're doing yourself coaching business, helping other businesses grow, I wouldn't recommend doing a work with you for free and refund guarantee Because the thing is, it's so easy for business owners to apply the stuff that you're telling them, but not really to the level that they need to. And if you're going to give them that refund if it doesn't work, they almost come into it thinking like, oh, like I'll just see if it works. If it doesn't, I'll just ask for a refund. And then the train with you for free until you do means they can definitely get the result that they want, but they can't get the refund, so they know they're going to have to put the work in at some point. They might as well just put it in straight away. Otherwise, it's just going to take them longer to get the result they want. But with that, you're still guaranteeing them that they're going to get where they want as long as they put the work in. Whatever coaching business you have, you need to make sure that there's rules for them to take on the action-based guarantee. What do they need to be doing every week or every month for that guarantee to still be in place? So scarcity and urgency, it's telling you to cap it at 15 clients for the month. But if you're only taking on 5 a month right now, if it's a leads issue, I would say that this is too many. I would cap it at 10 a month and be showing this on your stories. Like you can literally show your places on the stories. Something you can do is put sticky notes on the wall, and every time someone comes on, you cross out the sticky notes, as it's really visual for people to see that. And you can even run retargeting ads showing this. Like it's not going to be perfect, but you could run retargeting ads where it's a testimonial, and then at the end it's like another place gone, and you kind of show the fact that you've got less and less places within your program. Fulfillment that wins, weekly check-in and community call, habit stack roadmap. So this is just simple, saying that you do 1 call a week with them, and you do 1 community call that everyone joins, and then you basically give them a roadmap when they start from the beginning all the way to the end of the program, so that they know what actions they're going to be taking and what their route is throughout the 6 months. This is also good because let's say in the 5 to 12, I would rename this, I don't like the names, like 5 to 12 week period, or the 13 to 24 week period, like maybe 3-4 months in, you can try and upsell on something else. So you can say like in the metabolism, whatever stage, what we find really good is XYZ, boom, boom, bow, and then you try and upsell them on something that's really small, low ticket. It might be £100, it might be £500, but they're going to be able to use, that's going to help them a lot with their training, but also give some more cash flow into the business. After looking over the $100 million offer for this business, we now need to actually see how we're going to generate leads to close on this offer, and how we're going to get eyeballs towards this offer so that people know that it's there. People know that they can take action on this. And this is just as important as having a great offer, because you can have the best offer in the world, but if we don't have the leads for that offer, it means nothing. Before we learn exactly how to get the leads to close on this offer, what we're going to do is get a template for this so that we can actually follow this step by step. Provide a step-by-step template I can fill in to create a $100 million. Don't judge my spelling, I'm sure of it. So it's written out the core features to actually build this $100 million offer, the Grand Slam offer, who's it for, dream outcome, time interval, core promise, delivery vehicle, proof plan, risk reversal, bonus stack, price and terms, scarcity and urgency, zero delay kickoff, effort and sacrifice, FAQ and objections. Yeah, I think this is really good, and you can use the FAQ and objections. You can put that on a website, you can put that in your Instagram highlights, you can do a Q&A and actually just get your friends or message yourself the objections that you think you're going to come up, so you can pre-handle them. It's saying pre-handle them here because you can put this in YouTube videos, you can put this in Instagram Reels, you can put this in Instagram Stories, TikTok videos, whatever, wherever you're generating a lead source from, which we're going to go into. If you understand the objections that they're going to come up with based on your offer, you can start pre-handling them over the socials or wherever you're generating the leads from. So now you have the perfect offer and you have the template to build that out exactly. Let's actually figure out how we're going to get leads for this offer. So I'm going to keep it super simple again, just put how can we generate leads for the offer? How can we generate leads to buy from this offer? So it's asked us again, who exactly are you targeting? Busy mums, 30 to 45. Yeah, okay, we can actually just go with this. Actually, we'll change this to busy dads to just mix it up a little bit. Boom. Existing reach, what do you have now? So let's say for this, most people doing, if you're at around 10K per month, you've most likely got, let's say 1,200 followers on IG. You've got an email list of 0. You got a Facebook group. You got a Facebook following of 1,000. You have past client contacts of that. Okay, let's go on question 3. So question 3, proof assets. How many solid before and after video transformations do you have? 4 photos, 2 videos. Outbound capacity. How many DMs can you send personally? 25, 50, 100. Okay, so I'm going to say 25 daily. Budget for setter. Let's say you have $25 daily budget setter. And I'm also going to put plus commissions, because that's saying basically how much do you have to pay for a setter. But a lot of setters you can get on for zero and just give them pure commission. If you're in the early days of the offer, you're most likely not going to be able to do them. So what you could do is give your setter like a budget amount per day that they get as a base, and then they get extra on top of that for the commissions, and they come on as a freelancer. So 5, content budget. Can you post daily short form? Yes, every day. Let's say you've got $500 monthly budget, which is, if you're posting every day, so you're recording every day, $500 monthly budget is like 300 and something pounds a month. So this is a relatively low amount of followers, quite low amount of testimonials, and super low budget. So 4 photo testimonials, like 4 photo before and afters and 2 videos, is definitely enough to build a lot of social proof if you use it right. Most people, they have those testimonials and they don't use them in the way they could, so it just seems way worse. And then 1,200 followers is like a decent amount. You can do a lot with that. But then the 500 monthly budget for editing is low. But at the beginning, you could just edit yourself if you're right in the early days. And then if you're way in the future where you have a full-time editor like I do, then if you can do well off a $500 budget, you're going to be able to crush it off a much higher budget, like 3, 4, 5K. Run a 14-day rule of 100 warm DM sprint. You don't need fancy ads, you need more reps. Do 100 primary actions a day for 100 days and you'll get more engaged leads. Okay, so what is this 14-day one they want us to do? Create a big fast value bait, 2-day. So 7-day busy dad reset, workout, grocery list, eating out guideline, make it so good they feel stupid saying no. Delivery, PDF, and day 1 video. So what this is saying, a lead magnet is basically something that you put out there for free that someone gets to give you that information, get in contact with you, or do some sort of step forward where you can get in better contact with them. So it's basically saying put a 7-day program together that you can give completely for free to just get the contacts. I would actually do this with a group chat and everything. So it's like a full 7-day thing where it has the community, the accountability, all the eating out guidelines, all the workout programs, absolutely everything. And on like day 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, I'd be trying to get on calls with those people and just upsell them to a full package. Because once you have them in a group chat, you have their number, especially if you do the group chat. Because once you have them in a group chat on WhatsApp, let's say you have their number, you can give them the one-to-one as like a bonus thing, so that because they've been consistent for the first 2-3 days, you're going to give them this bonus one-to-one, and that would absolutely crush, because you're going to get a lot of people that want that. I think this is a very good idea, especially with the fact that you have more than like 10 followers. And this will work if you have 500 followers. Plus, if you do any less than that, then you'll need to reach out to people offering this, but it would still work. Build the target list 1 out. Past clients, IG followers, TikTok followers who fit 30 to 45 dad profile. Everyone has a list, use it. Goal, 1,000 names over time, start with 200 this week. I massively agree with this one. I have this thing called a contact maximization template where you fill in their names and details, you let yourself know when you've done that first outreach, and then you have all the follow-ups. I would say if you're starting off, a large part of this list can just be past people you've spoken to, past friends. People that you just know in general. They might not be on Instagram, they might not be on TikTok, they might not be Facebook followers, they might just be friends and family. Honestly, if you're right at the beginning, that can be a really good place to start to get your first few clients. And what you can do is you can give them extra bonuses and extra incentives and maybe even discounts because you know them. You don't want to go too crazy, you don't want to undervalue yourself, but you can do things like that. If you're slightly larger, you're basically scraping up all of the leads that you've had, all your past clients, all your no-shows, anyone that's not come through, you're putting them in a template and you're starting to outreach again to make the most out of those people. You have to realize as well, especially with fitness coaching or any business coaching, the more you're with someone, as long as you have a good service, the more you're going to help them. So you actually want to stay with someone for as long as possible, not just for yourself, but for them. Daily cadence 40 days straight, you 25 personalized DMs a day, set a 20 to 50 a day, total 50 to 75. Benchmarks, expect around about a 70% reply rate from warm DMs. 1 buyer per 100 warm reach outs, volume wins. I agree with this, but I think that hiring a setter, if you're in the early days, isn't necessarily a good idea. In this case, they're at 10K a month, so I think that's a great idea. And most likely you're gonna have way more than $25 a day. So I would get a setter doing full DMs, 100 DMs a day. If you're anywhere below 2K per month, just do the DMs yourself, because you're then gonna have to manage a setter, and most likely if you're below 2K per month, it's because there's something not going on with your content, you haven't got, these things put in place, or you're just not doing the DMs right, or you're not doing enough volume. So you need to learn to do the volume yourself. You need to learn how to do the DMs properly yourself, which is exactly what it's saying here. And then you can get a setter. I literally did this and it went so wrong. I had 3 setters from the Philippines when I first started out doing below 2K per month. And I was paying them probably $20 to $50 a day, depending on the person. And none of them were working because it was like having a robot in the DMs. Unless you're really, really good at training and you can train them the English language sometimes, then they're just not going to know. The ones that are really good, super hard working, they're much more expensive. So then you're going to pay them a lot more. The ones that are a lot cheaper, maybe $5 an hour, maybe even $3 an hour, which is super low. They're most likely from places in the Philippines or Thailand or Indonesia where the cost of living is super low, so that $3, $4 is high. And that usually means that the language barrier is larger because they don't have as much need to speak English, which then just makes it horrific in the DMs. And you're not going to be hiring someone from the UK or United States, wherever you're watching, to do this because they're going to be too expensive. Like if you've got a $25 a day budget, someone in the US might charge $25 for 1 hour, and they're not going to do 50 to 75 DMs in an hour. And you want to make sure you're mixing the DMs up. Like you don't want to be sending the same message to every single person. So you need someone that's aware and really understands, like, so they can send that customized, tailored message. And at the beginning, if you're in the really early days, you're going to be the perfect person to do that. So just do the fucking reps. And then as you scale to 5, 10K, you can just get someone on commission. Because if you're doing 10K per month, you could give someone 15% commission and then they're going to be earning £1,500 from doing your DM setting, and you don't have to pay them any base. And then as you grow, you can give them a base. I give my setters a base, as it just means they have that secure income, and then they just get addition from all of the commissions they earn. Everything needs to be as scalable as possible. You want to look at something, how can I get it as linear as it can be? I massively agree on these first 2 steps. They're absolutely perfect. You can generate way more leads by doing this. It's not complicated. It's using the content and the resources you already have with the Instagram and Facebook. And yeah, it's definitely going to bring you in some more clients. So it's giving you a DM script here. Hey name, saw your kids have sport work thing, built with 7-day busy dad reset. One thing I noticed this AI is really not good for is building out stuff like scripts, YouTube videos, anything that's not like a core concept. It's better at core concepts like this, how to get the leads. It's not as good at the nitty gritty little things that you would need to do to get those leads. But if you apply these core concepts, even if you do it your own way, you're going to get more leads. So the way I would do this is I would send them a voice note, especially if you know them, just catching up like, hey man, I was doing this and I thought about, maybe randomly think about you the other day. You're not really bullshitting because you probably do think about them, but like you're just adding in an extra layer to make it give you a reason to reach out. You don't just want to be reaching out like, hey man, like I know we haven't spoken for 2 years, but I have this busy dad reset thing that you should definitely join. People are going to be like, whoa, hold back man, hold back cowboy. What you want to do is just build a bit of rapport if you know them. If you don't know them, you can reach out, just be like, hey, connecting with some followers, had an extra 10 minutes today. And yeah, really appreciate you guys following me. Whereabouts you based? And just start building a little bit of rapport and then move over. And obviously this is a free thing that you have. This 7-day reset or this 7-day whatever you want to call it is a free thing. So you're not really going to be pushing hard on that. Like people are just going to want it if it's free. And when you say yes, you send it over and then you continue the conversation. This is such a good tip here from Hormozi because this is so important. I see loads of people like coaches or fitness coaches or loads of different coaches or even setters within big businesses. And what they're doing in the DMs is they might send over a resource and then they stop the conversation as if they're waiting for the person to consume the resource. And all that's going to do is massively reduce the chance that that person even consumes that resource. So what you want to do is the opposite. You want to send the resource or maybe even book them into the call, but then you want to keep chatting to them and continue to move the conversation forward so you nurture them more and you get a better understanding of that person. And if it's a resource that you send, if you keep chatting to them after the resource, like you send the resource and you send a question straight away, they're going to be way more likely to read the resource because they stay in a convo with you and they think, oh, I need to check this resource. I'll go and have a look at it. They'll come back to the convo. When if you just end it there after sending a resource, they'll most likely go off the convo and forget about it. People have thousands of different things they could do. They could keep scrolling on TikTok, keep scrolling on Instagram, they could go to YouTube, they could go watch porn, like they can go outside, maybe they're a mum or dad, they can go play with their family. Your mind is being distracted by like a million different things. If you aren't reminding people about stuff, they're gonna go off. So this is why this is so important. It's also saying to do the acknowledgement, compliment and ask framework, which I think is super strong. And the way this works, let's say they want to lose 20 kg. You acknowledge that, like, oh, okay, got you, Jack. So you want to lose 20 kg. You then compliment them. By the way, congrats on that 5K that I saw on your story. So you give them a compliment, makes them feel good, and it keeps them engaged in the conversation. Then you ask the next question, like, how long have you been wanting to lose 20 kg for? Continuously moving forward and understanding that prospect more. And then you book a call where you can map out maybe their 7-day trial or their 24-week plan, or maybe it's actually for them to fully come on a coaching with you. And then it's saying BAM FAM, which is book a meeting from a meeting. So basically is if you're going to do like a 2-call close, so if you're going to hop on a call with them, not try and get them on your program, then you can have that Zoom call with them where you kind of give them value, you get them more bought into you. And then on that Zoom call, you can book them on another Zoom call that's longer, where you can actually try and sell them on the program that you have. We don't do this as it takes too much time and we have too much volume. We only do 1 call. But if you have a low amount of leads, it's better to do this because then you can understand people more, you can nurture people more, and they're more likely to close. It's just going to take you more time per person. And then it's basically just giving you a follow-up system of day 1, double call and text. Day 2, call them once. Day 3, just touch in once a day. And it's saying just keep it short, no massive paragraphs for the messages. And that's the same with the phone calls. You want to keep them fun, you want to keep them enjoyable, you want to remind them of what they're struggling with, where they're at now, where they want to go, so that they realize and remember why they were going to get on that call with you or join your program in the first place. Always end with a simple question to earn the next reply. Yeah, I agree with this. Whether you're in the DMs on Instagram, whether you're on message, whether you're on the call, until you really understand the person, you always want to end in a question to understand them more. After yes, deliver the reset instantly. Super important. If you're going to give a free resource value, I massively agree with this, that you don't want them waiting for ages. If you have in the comments or you have on your story, DM me this for this, when they DM you, you need that to go straight through. You can use ManyChat for this if you want, but the slower you do this, the slower they're going to start thinking that working with you one-on-one is. And the quicker you can provide them free value, the quicker you can provide someone pure help, then when you actually work with them or when you go to pitch them to work with you, they're going to realize that you're really on it and you're someone that, if they work with you, is going to give them an insane service. And then it says track metrics. You want to track your DM sent, your applies, your resets delivered, your calls booked, your shows, your closes. And in that way, yeah, you're going to really understand, okay, what's going wrong and what is going right. And it's saying in total over the 14 days, 700 to 1,000 total DMs sent, 1 buyer per 100, so 7 to 10 buyers, 14 to 20k cash collected at 2k. If you underperform, increase volume, the rule of 100 fixes most problems. I agree with that. So it's basically saying that if this doesn't work, you don't do 14 to 20k, you want to do more volume to see if that will fix it. And once you've maxed out on volume, you can then look at actually the nitty gritty of what needs to happen for you to start increasing, for example, show rates, the amount of people applying to you, those sort of things. But there's no point doing that until you have enough volume. Not going to do it now, but I'll get the structure for how to generate leads and I'll put it in the document below as well. I agree with pretty much all of this. Really good way to generate an increase in income within your first month. In the long term, you're going to have more content systems and stuff. But for the short term, just to generate more income, get more clients on so you have more testimonials, you have more income within the business, you maybe have more to spend on ads. This is absolutely perfect. So now that we've covered all the info of how to actually create a $100 million offer and get the leads to that offer, make sure to stay to the end where we're going to see if this actual business structure would actually perform in real life. Like, would it be successful in real life? I'm going to test it. I'm going to use ChatGPT to see whether it actually believes whether this business, this model would perform or not. And make sure you subscribe because next week I'm going to be going over the 12 books that Alex has sent me that I've personally implemented in my business and in some of my clients' business, which has resulted in Cyrus, Alvaro, Bertie, Ben, and many, many more actually signing more clients without spending a penny on ads. So what I've done is copied the whole of this and I'm going to make ChatGPT a business analyst and actually see whether this business model and the way of doing this would actually work in real life. ChatGPT, you are now a high-level business investor. So I'm also going to put all the information that we've personalized it with. Boom. So I've written ChatGPT, you are now a high-level business investor, market analyzer, and investment consultant. I want you to analyze the business and rate it from 1 to 10 on the likelihood that this would help the business scale and generate more sales. Be as brutal and honest as you like. No hard feelings. Got it in head, I'll play investor mode, brutal lens, no fluff. Right, it's gonna go for it. So core offer and clarity, 7 out of 10. You've packaged a 2K 6-month transformation. Marketing each 6 out of 10. It's probably done that because it's vague, yeah, broad avatar, but it's a good avatar because it has clear pain and disposable income. I agree with that, and urgency. You could maybe make it less vague. So then you have a slightly more niche avatar depending on how big you're following. If you have a massive following, keep it vague. If you have a smaller following, make it more niche. Delivery and fulfillment, 8 out of 10, I agree. You've also got the guarantee in there so that they guarantee to get results. Sales engine, 6 out of 10. It's made my sales 25 to 40%, which is roughly what I personally close at. So it's based this on me a little bit, but this will probably be for most people. 25 to 40%, if you get some basic sales training, that's where you'll be at. But this is interesting. What is picked out here is not that the sales is actually the issue, because 25 to 40% is very good. If you guys can do 25%, like 1 out of every 4 calls you have, you close, that's absolutely fine. What it's saying is that the issue is that you're capped on warm outreach only and personal DMs. Unless setters and paid traffic in play, the business will plateau. This is the number one bottleneck in your scaling path. This is actually such a good point that we didn't see and Hormozi didn't pick up on. If you continue doing this method that Hormozi's given you, you're not going to get to the 30, 40K a month. And you're going to massively plateau at the 10 to 20. Because you're going to need to either generate more leads, which comes from better content and better content systems, whilst also implementing a setter, so actually someone to do it all for you that is genuinely good, or you're going to have to run ads and actually generate the traffic that way. I would massively agree this is going to be the main bottleneck in scaling, which is probably going to be the reason why this has a lower score than we think. Lead generation, 5 out of 10. Audience size is small. Without rapid lead gen, you'll run out of warm leads fast. Content consistency will need to be ruthless. I agree with that. And at the end of the day, that's going to happen. It's a bit like this one. You're going to need to post good content. You're going to need to post a lot of content to generate more leads. But if you're not reaching out to leads like Alex Hormozi's kind of put in the AI, then you're never going to convert the client. So I actually agree with both here. You need to be posting a lot of content. And eventually, if your content's not working, you're going to need paid traffic. But for now, I'd say this is the best thing to start doing more. Because if you do this for 1 to 2 months, you go through a lot of the leads that you have, but you generate an extra 10, 20K, you're going to have all of that income to put in ads, which is probably going to triple the amount of leads you have. So yeah, it's going to be the number one bottleneck for scaling, but in the short term, I think this is going to be very good. Financials, 120K a year with 50% profit margin is very healthy. 120K to $1 million to 10 million requires volume leverage. Right now, no repeatable scalable acquisition channel. Offer is good, but not priced high enough to allow for aggressive paid acquisition long term. I agree with that. This is just a massive long term thing. This isn't going to be an issue in the short term. Scalability, strong profit margins, high ticket is good. Obviously, to get to 1 million a year and 10 million a year, a lot has to change and there has to be a lot more volume and leverage, but that would come from the paid traffic. If you're going to get to this sort of size, you're going to need paid traffic. But we're not looking at that. We're more looking at going from 10 to 50 or even 0 to 10. Or maybe 50 to 100, which is obviously $1 million a year. But if you wanted to do 50 or 10 to 100K a month, then you would just do this. You would have the offer. You'd have a very similar actual outreach strategy. You would just have paid traffic to supplement that, because that would stop the plateau, which is going to come from the lack of leads. So overall, it gave a score of 6 out of 10. That is pretty brutal. So solid foundation, but lead flow is weak, niche is too broad, and fulfillment bottlenecks are obvious. So the fulfillment bottlenecks are going to be you, and basically the fact that you can't take that many people on one-to-one. I'm going to see what it would rate this model for short-term growth. So for short term, it's given 7.5 out of 10, which I would actually agree with. It's got a high ticket model, warm outreach, it's going to work quickly. The offer is good. The lead gen costs are also low. The audience size is low as well, which is why it's only going to be short term. The positioning is still generic, obviously, because it's just busy dads, so you can make that more specific. The fulfillment bottleneck is going to be you, because you're only be able to take a certain amount of people online. But yeah, for the short term play, next 90 days is perfect. It's basically saying for the short term, 3 to 6 months, this model is strong. But it's not a 9 out of 10 because of the lack of audience, the fulfillment bottlenecks, and the market positioning. So you could fix the market positioning by doing maybe a slightly more niche audience and charging slightly more. You hit the audience saturation. If you post enough content in 3 to 6 months, this will work. Past 3 to 6 months, you're going to need to really look at your content to get a lot more leads. And then fulfillment bottlenecks is you can bring on a CSM, so someone to actually manage the clients you bring on so that they can do it for you. And that way you can take on way more people. So in general, I'd agree. This is a very, very solid way of doing things for the short term, but not as good for the long term. You'd need a better long-term plan to generate the leads. This is more monetizing the leads. And this is why you don't need Alex Hormozi's AI, because you're going to know exactly how to build an offer, how to get leads for the offer, and how to actually monetize that offer. So you guys can use all the principles that I paid $6,000 for completely for free by copying the exact process I went over in this video. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.